Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine and I hope you're having a great week and I hope you had a great game week too. So how was it guys? Do let me know in the comments. My game week 2 was decent, I'd say. Not the best because I didn't own Ben Rama. Just the start. I missed one player and it was Benrama, so I didn't own him and didn't have the best. But this is how my game week 2 went, by the way. So Semikas, Alexander Arnold giving me some decent returns. And I'm gonna talk about my game week 2 performance in a little bit of a detail. But before that, I like to know your, there's a poll which I started. I would like to know your opinion about which is the best transfer, Barnes to Benrahma straight, or you think it's better to take out Tony and Gilmore to maybe some 4.5 million forward like Obafemi and, getting Benrahma in place of Gilmore, because I feel I have to get Benrahma. The ownership is rising, the price is rising, and, there's just one way that this transfer has to go. So yeah, so just let me know what do you think about that. And for some reason the chat refuses to work and I'm trying to fix it. Give me a second guys and then we can probably get started and I can answer your questions if any. Just a second. I don't know why on the FPL Council always we kind of face the chat issue. Never on a live stream, but on the FPL Council for some reason. Anyways, I think could be fixed. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk to you about my team a bit, and then we'll get to discussing the games in general, and then we can talk about the upcoming game week. So nothing much to talk about here. It was the standard Sanchez 6-pointer. The only thing about owning Sanchez is I have to say this because he doesn't give you many save points. He just doesn't make too many saves. He kept a clean sheet. He just made one save. So I mean, when Brighton keep a clean sheet, they generally just dominate the game, and Sanchez doesn't have much to do. And even when they conceded, he just made 2 saves. So just feels that not gonna get many save points is Sanchez. Maybe his BPS is high, so he might get some bonus points, and that's the best you can expect from him. But I'm happy with 4.5 million keeper, and the next fixture is good as well. So I mean, not the next, but the Brentford fixture is decent. Everton at home is gonna be tough in my opinion. So Alexander Arnold and Semikas were brilliant together. They both got 1 assist, and Alexander Arnold with 3 bonus and Semikas with 2. Luke Shaw just got 2 bonus points out of nowhere. I mean, they conceded a goal, and it was an own goal by Fred. I mean, he's not turned out to be the gem that we thought he was gonna be. He's not attacking as much, but the thing is, with his 50% ownership, it's just so hard to move him on, and it's just tough to stick with him for now. In midfield, it was basically a disaster. Captaining Salah, 3-pointer, didn't do much. He did score a goal, by the way, which was called offside with the VAR, so no complaints there. Barnes, Iosi Perez got sent off for a red card, and after that he was just non-existent. He subbed off. I'm just happy that he played more than 60 minutes. He got 2 points. Very hard to keep him in my team now, by the way. Bruno Fernandes was another one who disappointed. Greenwood scored the goal, 10 points, but for Manchester United fans, drawing away to Southampton, especially after that start in game week 1, would be a little bit, it would hurt a bit because they were already dreaming about big things this season. So hopefully they can get back on track. Rafinha was good. Rafinha was pretty good. He scored a goal. He could have scored a goal against United as well. So I'm happy that I owned Rafinha. No complaints here, especially if you look at the upcoming fixtures. Burnley. Then after Liverpool, we've got Newcastle, West Ham, Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. I mean, this is an amazing run of games for Rafinha. Even though if I'm gonna wildcard in maybe game week 7, before game week 8. But still, he has some good fixtures to offer. Watford, Newcastle, Burnley, and even after that I might own Rafinha, so no complaints there. One which I'm disappointed with is obviously Ivan Toney. He's just, playing like a defensive midfielder rather than a striker. didn't get too many chances. Nothing much to report here. You know, not even many BPS, so you can make out how much involvement he had in those games. He's one which I'm possibly looking to move on as soon as I get a chance. Danny Ings was good. He scored a fantastic goal, by the way. It was a bicycle or maybe a half bicycle kick. It was pretty good. But Aston Villa in general, they're not playing well. Antonio was fantastic, guys. I mean, he's I just wish I captained him. He's so good. He was going for that West Ham record. He had to break the Paulo Di Canio record for the most goals scored in the Premier League by a West Ham player. So he now holds the record. He scored 2 goals and it was celebrated in a very, he's very happy with that, and he should be as well. He started out as a right back and now he's the highest goal scorer for a very prestigious club in West Ham United. So yeah, that was my game week, guys. So the overall rank is somewhere close to maybe 400k. How many points did I get in this game week? 75, and overall rank is 418k. So not too good, not too bad, I'd say. But this was all about the game week could have gone much better had Harvey Barnes done well in that game, or had I owned Benrahma in place of Harvey Barnes. But you can't complain too much, right? You can't complain about that. So I'll come back and read the comments. FPL Sam says already done Jota to Benrahma. That's a decent move. That's a very decent move. I like that. Abhishek says, why not a single Tottenham or Arsenal player in your team? I've got Ben White on my bench, Abhishek. So yeah, there is an Arsenal player. Tottenham, the only player I would like to own from Tottenham is maybe Son, or I'd like to own Reguilon, and didn't have many chances to kind of own them. I haven't made a transfer yet, so who knows. But Son is just too expensive, and I can't afford him with the structure that my team has right now. So Son is out of the question. But I do like the look of Reguilon and Son from Tottenham. Ari says Greenwood and Tony out for Benrahma in DCL. It's hard to tell you to transfer out Greenwood, especially after he scored 2 goals in 2 games. Tony, I feel we can ditch. I don't expect him to do as well as we initially. He had 31 goals in the championship, and we expected him to do. Maybe we expected another Bamford or another Pookie, who knows? But he hasn't hit the heights, and even Brentford, the very drab kind of game against Palace. So we can think about it, but Greenwood, I would not transfer him out. Salmon says time to replace Barnes and go for Greenwood or Benrahma. Yeah, Salmon, that is the obvious move, isn't it? The patient move would be to keep Barnes for 1 more game week, because I got him for this fixture, right? Against Norwich City was the game that I got him for, especially playing away from home, where Norwich are going to be attacking because the crowd are going to be pushing them on, and Harvey Barnes was perfect for the counter attack. So I'm in a bit of 2 minds right now, whether to keep Barnes and maybe just take Tony out, and because I've got 2 free transfers, I could just take Tony out for Obafemi and get Benrahma in place of Gilmore, or I could just save 1 transfer for the international break and just take out Barnes for Benrahma. I'm gonna have to make this decision tonight, because I think Benrahma is gonna be rising again. I'm gonna think about it a little bit more. Mentor says thoughts on Ronaldo. Yeah, that is true. I mean, I've heard that Manchester City are maybe going to bid for Ronaldo, and if he joins the Premier League, it's going to be lit, because City could not sign Kane and they need a striker. And Ronaldo, at his age, I think he can prove to be a very, very astute buy, and he's not that expensive. On the other hand, he gives you so much, in terms of fan following, the shirt sales, and so many other things that can happen, right? So I'm very excited, and the first match in the Champions League is possibly gonna be between City and PSG. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, my friend. Fadzali says, hey, I'm wildcard in Game Week 4. Which 3 of these 5 players should I include in my wildcard? Kane, Lukaku, Bruno, Salah, Son. If I was you, my friend, I'd say. The thing about Lukaku is his fixtures are so tough. It's very hard to kind of recommend him. I'd say Bruno, Salah, and Son, would be the players. Now, if you maybe want to take out one, it could be Lukaku, Bruno, and Salah. Maybe you can leave out Son if you want to. But Spurs fixtures are good, so it's hard to say which one. I wouldn't maybe go for Kane just yet. I'm not sure how, because he's starting tonight in the match that Spurs have in the conference, or UEFA conference. So I'm not sure if Kane is going to start against Watford, or how many minutes is he going to get, and how match fit he is. But I'd say Bruno and Salah you should own. Other than that, you can decide between Lukaku and Son. I think that would be my call. Do you think Ronaldo will join City? I think he could. I think because United are not interested in bringing him back, I think they should, just for the heritage, just for their history. They should. The fans will be pretty happy to have Ronaldo. If he doesn't bring too much baggage and if he's not too costly, I'd love to see Ronaldo back at United. But I think he could go to City. Yes, he can. Especially because he's disgruntled at Juventus. What's your thoughts on Greenwood not getting picked for the England game? I don't know. Maybe it's still, the same thing that happened when Greenwood and Foden were being naughty on their England on the international trip. So I don't know what's going on here, but in my opinion, I think they should actually pick Greenwood. He's been in good form. Matt says, I'm surprised so many people are jumping off Barnes. I know there's zero form, but still, it's not surprising, my friend. The thing is, Barnes hasn't showed anything in the two games that he's played against, Wolves and against West Ham United. And Brendan Rodgers has been Harvey Barnes has been the first one to get the hook. Every time he wants to bring on a striker like Patson Daka, Iheanacho, every time he takes off Harvey Barnes. The only reason why I'm thinking to keep him is because Ayoze Perez is red carded for the next 3 games, and maybe Harvey Barnes has a chance to start along with Iheanacho and Vardy. So that is the only. If Ayoze Perez wasn't red carded, I would definitely just take Barnes out for Benrahma, because Benrahma has a great fixture as well. Abhishek says Saka or Emil Smith Rowe an option. To be honest with you, Abhishek, I think Saka is a better option than Emil Smith Rowe. He was really, really good against West Bromwich Albion yesterday in the game. I watched the entire game. He was really, really, he was live wire and running up and down that flank and creating chances, and even he almost got a goal as well. I think he did get a goal, Saka. Yeah, he did. He did score a goal. So yeah, I think Saka is the better option. With Martin Odegaard coming in, I'm not sure where Emil Smith Rowe is going to be playing, so that could be something to consider. Salmon says, is it time to replace Ben White? Excuse me. I don't think it's a time to replace Ben White. I think it's time to keep Ben White. The reason why I say this is because you look at the fixtures of Ben White. Actually, let me just go to pick team. I think that would be better, so that I can show you. Yeah. So basically, if you keep Ben White for the Manchester City game, then you get Norwich, Burnley. Okay, Spurs is a tough one, but then Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. So there's great fixtures for Arsenal coming up, although they're not in the best of form. But these fixtures are pretty tasty in my opinion. So even if you keep Ben White, I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good time to get rid of him. Or if you have Tierney as well, if he comes back in game week 4, you might be better off keeping him. That's just my opinion, by the way. Commenter says, I'm currently in top 1900. That is amazing. Also, do you think Tsimikas into Cody would be a good move for game week 4? Yeah, Wolves do have good fixtures, my friend. And the thing is, do I really want to go for Cody? He is not going to get many attacking returns at all. So if you have to go for someone, I think you should target somebody who actually has a chance to. Maybe you could go for somebody like Tsimikas to Livramento, because that is a move that I have on my mind as well. 4 million defender saves you some money as well, and he's playing on the right flank and he's very attacking, and Southampton have some decent fixtures too. So I'd say, why not? Why not Tsimikas to Livramento of Southampton? Matt says then you could swap Barnes to Saka as they play in Norwich. That is true, Matt, but that doesn't make sense for this game week. The problem is I need Benrahma in game week 3, and That move, I don't want to delay any further. He scored like 24 points already, and he's hurt my team. If I had Benrahma, I would be close to the top 10k right now, in place of maybe Harvey Barnes. So that's a big, and that's just a big impact one player has had on my team, a negative impact. So I might get an Arsenal player if they start playing well, but right now I don't want to kind of go there at the moment. I think Ben White is enough for my team from Arsenal. Bubin says, I'm planning Mahrez and Tony out for Rafinha and DCL. By the way, guys, DCL has been in amazing form, both stats wise, and the eye test just tells me that after game week 3, Danny Ings has to go, and I'll have to bring in Dominic Calvert-Lewin in place of Danny Ings. So that is one transfer that I've already penciled in for game week ahead of game week 4. I think I have to do it. DCL is on penalties right now, guys, and this is a big thing because he's a striker, the main man. Everton are putting in so many crosses. DCL takes just amazing shots from amazing positions inside the box, and he's on penalties as well. So in my opinion, DCL is the go-to guy if you have Danny Ings. Just ditch him after game week 3 and go for DCL. Anyways, Bumin says, I'm planning Mahrez and Tony out for Rafinha and DCL, or Son on Dennis. If I was you, I would go for Rafinha and DCL, Bumin. Definitely would. Pratyush says, Adam Armstrong, opinion please, I have transferred him in. I like him, Pratyush. I mean, he scored 28 goals in the championship. There's nothing not to like about a 6 million striker who starts all the games. So I like Adam Armstrong, and the fixtures are good too. He doesn't seem like the kind of player who'll give you like 15 or 16 points like Antonio, but if he keeps taking over with 6-7 points, I think that should be good enough, right? 6 million striker is pretty good, I'd say. Adam Armstrong, yeah. Mentor says go for Rafinha and DCL. Yeah, I agree with that. Calvert-Lewin will get you many points and has great fixtures. Totally agree with Commenter. And he's in the top 1900, so he's thinking straight and he's thinking right, so might as well follow his advice. Venkatesh says, who is the better captain, Son or Bruno? I think Son is the better captain, undoubtedly. If you have Son, you definitely should captain Son, because Kane is playing tonight in the conference, so I don't think he's going to be starting or playing for 90 minutes against Watford. So Son is in my opinion the better pick. Definitely is. Sushant says Tony to be subbed out if he blanks this week. In my opinion, he has to be transferred out. There's no point in subbing him out because his fixtures are horrendous after this. Wolves, Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester. I don't see them scoring too many in these games. It's hard because the sample size is just 2 games, but Tony hasn't shown enough for me to just keep him. I think at 6 million you could have gone for Benrahma, but if you went for Tony, it's just bad luck, I'd say. Akshay says, who's the best defensive option from Wolves? If I had to go for one Wolves defender, I would go for Nelson Semedo. I think, if you watch the Wolves games, I think Nelson Semedo is bombing forward. He's playing really well, and in the easier games, I think he has a great chance to get a clean sheet plus attacking returns. The way Wolves are setting up, I think it's perfect for somebody like Nelson Semedo. If I had to get one Wolves defender, it would be Semedo, yeah. Gammon says, do you think Liverpool versus Chelsea would be goalless? I don't think so, my friend. The thing is, it's hard to say it categorically what's going to happen in that game, because it's like an immovable object against an unstoppable force, because based on the first 2 games, I'd say Chelsea are currently in better form than Liverpool, because Liverpool did keep 2 clean sheets, but they could have easily conceded in both the games if not for Alisson, who made great saves and saved them. And Chelsea have just looked all round more solid, and with the addition of Lukaku, I think Chelsea are a force to be reckoned with. I think they can even win the Premier League this season, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, for me, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in that game. By the way, I think Chelsea do have a chance to win that game as well, the way they play. Because they have such quality in that team. Can you believe, like, Ben Chilwell cannot get into that team. N'Golo Kante could not get into that team. So I mean, amazing how much depth they, and they're about to sign like Conde from Sevilla, and they're even talking to Saul maybe as a loan move or something like that. It's like, I don't know what they want. Maybe they just wanna just destroy all the competition. Anyways, Tony to Adam Armstrong. If you want to, yeah, you can do it, my friend. But I think there's better valued options in midfield. So maybe Tony to a 4.5 million forward and invest in somebody like Rafinha or Benrahma. I think better than the cheap strikers, the cheap midfielders are performing better. So if I was you, if I had to make one transfer, yes, you could go for Adam Armstrong. But if you kind of have two transfers to make, I'd say add somebody in midfield, bro. Here says Rafinha or Benrahma. Oh, that is tough. I think you should get both if you can. You know, this week I'd say get Benrahma, but over the long term, I'd say you would want Rafinha. I just showed you the fixtures, bro. It's just, why would you not want Rafinha for Newcastle, Watford, Southampton, Norwich? Long term, I'd say they're both good options. What happens if West Ham sign Lingard? I don't know, because Benrahma is currently playing in approximately the same position in which Lingard played last season. So, but I don't think David Moyes would want to wreck something that is working this season, right? So even if they sign Lingard, I expect Benrahma to do well. Long term, I'd say you should go for both Benrahma and Rafinha. This game week, I'd say you should probably give preference to Benrahma. Mohammed says, "What's your plan?" Right now, my friend, I don't have any plan. I've put the poll up, and I want my viewers to give me their opinions. And I'm gonna make my transfer tonight before Benrahma rises. But I have two options: maybe Harvey Barnes to Benrahma, or maybe Tony out for a 4.5 million and Gilmore to Benrahma. So that is the plan. But I'm gonna make the transfer tonight, and if I do, I'm gonna send you a message on Twitter and on YouTube telling you what move I made. Right now it's not final. Mon says, if Cristiano Ronaldo joins City, what will be his FPL price? I'd say 10 million would be the fair price, isn't it? I know many Ronaldo fans would actually be very angry for me saying this, but in my opinion, Ronaldo is not the same explosive player that he was. He's moving on in years. He's a good player right now. He works hard and he's a good striker. He still has that burst of pace, and he'll be a great signing for City. But technically, I'd say 10 million should be the right price. Not getting carried away with 14 millions and other such stuff. Thoughts on captaincy? That is interesting. I think Antonio could be a very, very good captaincy option this week, right? Will he be motivated the same way he was against Leicester? I am not sure, because he's already broken that Paulo Di Canio's record for highest goals scored for West Ham United. So I'm not sure if Antonio is going to be motivated the same way that he was against Leicester. Although he should be, you should be up for every game. But he had that extra motivation to go for the record, and once you get there, you might get complacent. So, but I'd say Antonio is still the best option against Crystal Palace. I like that. Second best would be, I'd say, if you own Son or you own somebody, like, I'd say Son is one of the better options. But I don't think many of us own Son, because we went with Bruno and Salah. If you have Son, you go with Son. If you don't, then you can think about Antonio as well. Matt says, hard to call Liverpool Chelsea. Could be KG, but Chelsea could contend for the title this year. So maybe they won't contend with a point. The thing is, Matt, even if Chelsea go to Anfield and get a point, I don't think that's a bad point to get anyway, because that is one of the hardest places to go and get a point. So if they go to the Etihad, they get a point, and go to Anfield and get a point, and then they win all the other games, that I think that they're gonna be fine, right? They have to be practical. You can't you don't win the league by winning all the 38 games. You know, you have some draws, you have some losses as well. So, you know, in my opinion, a point wouldn't be bad for Chelsea, practically, if they think practically. Akshay says, what to do with Smith Rowe? Is there any chance he starts after the arrival of Odegaard? I don't think there's any problem of Emil Smith Rowe starting, my friend, because he has been Arsenal's best player. You know, the problem is, where is he going to play? If Odegaard starts at number 10 or in the midfield, either they play, you know, one holding midfielder and two progressive midfielders, which I don't think Arteta is going to do because of the type of manager he is. So either he starts out on the wing, you know, or, you know, who knows what's going to happen. I'm an Arsenal fan. It's hard to say what's going to happen because I haven't... the thing is, Aubameyang is coming back now. Lacazette is back. They played and they scored the goals yesterday against West Bromwich Albion as well. So, you know, Nicola Pepe did well. Saka did well. So the options are opening up for Arteta now, and it's very hard to kind of call what's going to happen. If I was you, I would possibly, you know, keep Emil Smith Rowe because the fixtures are that good after Manchester City. The thing is, 5.5 million, there is not a big risk with keeping Emil Smith Rowe, unless you have a better option you want to move on to. I think you'll be better off holding. Yaman says, I hope Arsenal have a good momentum after beating West Brom and will smash City. I don't think they're gonna smash City, Yaman. There is a big gulf in just like there was a big gulf in quality between West Bromwich Albion and Arsenal. Even, you know, the West Bromwich Albion manager, he started a relatively young team yesterday against Arsenal, and there's a gulf of quality between Arsenal and Manchester City. Although as a fan, it is very hard for me to admit it, but there is a gulf of quality. And, you know, at the Etihad Stadium with the crowd behind them, I don't see any chance of Arsenal beating City. I don't, you know. Kero says DCL or Ings. DCL, my friend. Always DCL. Badali says Dennis, game week 4 to game week 7. Switch to Armstrong in game week 7-8 and look at their fixture. No, I understand, my friend, but, you know, do you really want to start a 5 million striker? Yeah, and that also Watford striker. Watford, they were fine in the first game. You know, they were at home. They were like pumped up, promoted back to the league. I don't think they're going to continue their scoring form, by the way, you know. I'd say go for somebody who's more proven than Dennis. Instead of City going for Ronaldo, just go get Aubameyang. Aubameyang is also moving on, you know, he's like 32 years old. He's not getting any younger. Not sure if Aubameyang is the right player for City. Aubameyang, it finds it hard to play in tight spaces. You know, the way City play, I don't think Aubameyang would be the ideal striker for them. I'd say somebody like, you know, somebody like Lautaro Martinez would be ideally a great striker for City, and you know, or somebody else, you know, just somebody who can play better football than Aubameyang does. Aubameyang is a poacher. He's a goal scorer. He's not necessarily a great footballer. You know, I hope Arsenal fans don't mind me saying this. Aman says, I've already made my moves with Benrahma and Reguilon, and that is a fantastic choice, my friend. You transferred out Gundogan and Tsimikas. That is I like both those moves, Aman, and pretty happy with those moves. Benrahma and Reguilon, and I totally agree with that. I mean, if I transfer out Harvey Barnes, you know, I might take out Tsimikas for Livramento as well, because I don't have any other problems in my team right now. So Tsimikas is a problem because, you know, Robertson is back and I think he's primed to start against Chelsea. He's fit enough now. And if I don't make the two transfers in which I take Tony out and then take out Gilmore for Benrahma, I could just take out Harvey Barnes for somebody like, you know, Benrahma, and take out Tsimikas for Livramento, or maybe Shane Duffy, whoever I prefer in that category. You know? So I love those moves, Aman. Really good. And your game week 4 move is also pretty much what I have in mind. Ings out, DCL, and that's what I'm going to do in game week 4 as well. So, you know, hopefully we're thinking alike, and hopefully we can get some good results. Siaman says, as Arsenal fan, do you think you should be replace Arteta? Or the thing is, it's you know, I'm mostly an optimistic fan. I just don't turn so quickly on the manager. The thing with the reason why the fans are frustrated with Arteta is because, you know, the fans don't see a future. Like, for example, if Arteta came in and said, right, this is how we play, no matter which players we have, this is how we are going to play, right? We don't see anything. Like, if your best attacking option is Kieran Tierney crossing balls to nobody in the box, I mean, that isn't a good attacking, or that isn't a good strategy in which you plan to take the club forward. You sign players, like Ben White, 50 million, you spend like 35 on Odegaard, and 25 on Aaron Ramsdale. In my opinion, I'm still behind Arteta, but the patience is wearing thin, and I think I think there's a huge possibility that we're gonna lose to Manchester City, but I'm not going to turn like against Arteta after that game. But if he fails to beat like Norwich and the other fixtures after that, the easier fixtures, if Arteta doesn't get points in these, like Norwich, Burnley, Tottenham is obviously a derby, but Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, then yes, maybe after game week 10, he might need replacing. But right now, I am trusting him, yeah. Eddie says, Aman says, I'm doing Harvey Barnes out for Rafinha in game week 5 and double up on Chelsea. The double up on Chelsea in game week 7 is fantastic, and I have the same plan. I'm possibly going to wildcard in game week 7, And Rafinha is also a good option. So yeah, I mean, totally agree. The thing is, keeping Harvey Barnes is a bit, just feel a bit tough to keep Harvey Barnes when Rama's doing, scoring 12 points every week, when Greenwood is scoring goals. So it's tough to keep Harvey Barnes, especially after the price drop and Benrahma going up in price. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, bro. Eddie says, got Barnes and Gundogan in my team with 1 million in the back of thinking of getting Greenwood and maybe Dele Alli. Can't afford Son. I mean, yeah, Dele Alli, you can get him. The thing is, what happens when Kane comes back in? Who is he going to drop is the question. Dele Alli has been doing well. I mean, he even took a penalty the other day, so I wouldn't be against getting Dele Alli, but I don't know how they're going to restructure with Kane coming back, so I would be a little bit concerned about that. So that is totally up to you if you want to take that risk. But the way Dele Alli is playing, I don't think he's going to drop him. He's still going to get some minutes. Giving him one more chance against Norwich, that is fine, my friend. I totally understand where you're coming from. Matt says, can't decide whether to get Sofal or a Wolves defender. Matt, I think West Ham are doing well, and I think Sofal is so attacking. I think he's a good own, and the West Ham fixtures are not that bad either, so it's not like that West Ham have got like top 6 teams to play or anything like that. Like they've got Tottenham maybe and United. Other than that, they've got Leeds, Brentford, Everton, Aston Villa, Southampton. So I don't think there's a big difference there. And Sofal is much more attacking. If I was you, I would prefer Sofal, yes. Kair says, Semikas instead of Robertson after 2 weeks will return, so I don't understand your question, Kair. I'm sorry. Anirudh says, is it the right time to get rid of Tony? Anirudh, I think whenever you can, you should possibly get rid of Tony. I am, in my opinion, is gone from my team. As soon as I get the chance, I might transfer him out this game week or whenever I get the chance. I don't see Brentford doing like really well in the upcoming fixtures. If the fixtures were better, I would possibly think about keeping Tony. But do you really want to keep him for this? Like Wolves, Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester, I don't see them doing too much in these games, So in my opinion, it would be a nice time to sell him, yes. Jaditya says, is Benrahma a must-have? Jaditya, to be honest with you, I never ever say that somebody is a must-have, right? In FPL, like for example, the number 1 player in the world, do you know? He doesn't own Trent Alexander-Arnold or Bruno Fernandes. So I mean, there are like 10 different ways to play this game. So nobody's a must-have. But what is not to like about a 6.2 million player and who's scoring 12 points every week? I honestly think that you should get him, yeah. 4.5 million defender instead of Tsimikas. Yeah, that is oh, you could go for somebody like, you know, I'd say Eric Dyer. You could think about like Spurs defender. You know, he's playing all the games and he's 4.5 million, and Spurs have got some decent fixtures to come. Other than that, who would I recommend at 4.5? Just hang on, let me just have a look, my friend. Which other 4 million defender? 4.5 million defender, I mean. To be honest with you, I just, you know, I think there are some really good options at 4 million that you could actually go for. If you want to, you could go for Livramento. You could go for Shane Duffy. I like the look of them. Dyer is good at 4.5 million in my opinion. And who else? Mitchell, no. Thomas, no. Luke Ayling is decent. I mean, the Leeds fixtures are going to turn, so you could think about Luke Ayling as well. But there are not many good options in that price range. You think Kane will start? You know, Kane is playing tonight. He's currently playing for Spurs in that Conference League game. He started for them. So, you know, I'm not sure if he's that match fit that he can go like 2 games. Earlier he came late to training, he was fined, and all that drama with the Manchester City transfer and all that. So it's hard for me to say whether he'll start or not. Nehal is here. Welcome, Nehal. There's thoughts on Tsimikas to Livramento. I've already talked about that a lot, Nehal. I think that is a fantastic move to make. You know, Tsimikas is up in price. You can reap a benefit of 0.1 million and go for Livramento, who I feel is a fantastic option. He's not going anywhere. Last night in the Carabao Cup, you know, Kyle Walker-Peters started, so that means Livramento has nailed that right back spot, and I would be very interested in Livramento for my team as well. So yeah, Aman says, I'll see you in the deadline stream, Wiz. I'm going to watch the Spurs Europa League game. Take it easy and have a good rest for the day. Make sure you remember me, bro. Totally, Aman, totally. I remember you, bro. And take it easy, my friend. Nice talking to you. Anoop says, I have Barnes. Is there anything about this to worry about? If, you know, Jose Perez wasn't red carded, I think there was something to worry about. I think Barnes, you know, hasn't been doing too well. He's just been hugging the touchline, not had much impact. Alright, I'd be, you know, unfair to kind of say he should have done a lot when kind of, you know, Leicester were down to 10 men. But even before that, Harvey Barnes wasn't to be seen much in that game. I was watching the game. Crit says, hey Wizard, I have 127 total. Do you think I can come back? I think this is a very volatile time in the season, you know, Crit. So I don't see any reason why you can't come back, you know. Just as Nehal says, he's like started off at 4 million and ended up at 30k. So there is definitely, you've got all your chips, you've got the information, you know, if you make good use of it. Like I've seen people starting in game week 2 and still making it into the top 10k. So definitely you have a chance, my friend. Just be positive and, you know, take in all the information and use your chips wisely, and you can definitely make it. Yeah. Jaditya says, help me choose one between Harrison, Click and Dallas. Already have Rafinha. Do you really want to go for 2 Leeds midfielders, my friend? I think that's a bit much. But if I had to get another one, I'd say Harrison would be my option. You know, yesterday he was really good in the Carabao Cup as well. I think he scored 2 goals if I am not wrong. So I wouldn't go for 2 Leeds midfielders, but if that is your option, I'd say Harrison. Yes. Nick says, are you really captaining Salah? No, I'm not, Nick. No. This is not my team. I haven't made my transfers, by the way. This is just what do you call it? A bus team? Yeah. I haven't made my transfers yet. I'm still thinking, you know. I'm here to answer your questions more than talk about my team tonight. Nehal says, I have 3 options. Tsimikas to Livramento, Tierney to Livramento, and Tony to DCL. Oh, Tierney to Livramento and Tony to DCL. Barnes to Harrison, Sarr, and Inks to DCL. In my opinion, if you know, I know like Arsenal have really good fixtures after game week 4, you know, so I would be tempted to keep Tierney. But if you move Tierney to Livramento and you can get DCL in place of that, I like both those players for my team. I like Livramento as well. I like DCL as well. So if I was you, I'd either go Tsimikas to Livramento or I'd go Tierney to Livramento and Tony to DCL. Barnes to Harrison and Inks to DCL, not this game week for me. I'd say one or two. Both are good. Depends on whether you want one transfer for game week 4 or you want two. But I like both the options, mate. I think they're pretty good. So Barnes was not squaring the ball. Barnes wasn't doing anything much at all. The thing is, even in the first game against Wolves, he had a breakout. He was like, when they switched to a 3-5-2, he was breaking out, and he didn't cross the ball to Vardy. So I'm a bit frustrated with Barnes. If I hadn't got Barnes, I would have gone with Greenwood, and that's a difference of 17 points right there, my friend. And I'm just frustrated why I went with Barnes. But sometimes these 50-50s, you just can't predict. The glitchy crystal ball didn't help me in this case, innit? Todd says Nihal plan 2 looks pretty good. Yeah, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. Inks has a good fixture, and then you can move him on to DCL next week as well. Totally agree with that. Fadli says PSG wants 230 million for Mbappe. Real Madrid. I think they bid 160 million if I'm not wrong, Fadli. But I think 230 million is a bit much for any player. It's just I don't know, my friend. People in the world are starving. And 230 million for a player. Anyways, this is totally out of context. But I'd say Real Madrid should let him go if he wants to. PSG should let him go to Madrid if he wants to. Madrid have been working on Mbappe with their meeting with their family, trying to build bridges and stuff. So hopefully it goes through. I think PSG would be too strong if they have Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, and a lot to go along with all the stars that they have. Nick says the higher you start, the more red arrows you'll see for the season. Yeah, that's one way to say the glass is half full, my friend. Yeah, that's a good one, Nick. Agree with that. Care says, should I sell Grealish? I don't see any reason to sell Grealish, my friend. Other than City have got some tough fixtures, but against Arsenal, City always do well. So if I was you, I'd keep. Unless you don't have Benrahma, then you could think about selling him. But if I was you, I'd say Grealish has a nailed on place in the Pep roulette. Until now, we've seen that Pep trusts Grealish, he plays him, and if Grealish can break the Pep roulette, who better to own than Grealish in the long term, I'd say. Cheers, Nehal. Fadzli says, if you have only Vardy and Bruno for captaincy, who would it be? To be honest with you, if I had Vardy this game week, I'd captain Vardy against Norwich. So if you own Vardy and you don't captain him this week, then when would you captain him? Bruno has Wolves away. Although Wolves have, we've heard all about that log high line and all those things, but they haven't conceded too many goals. They've lost both the games with a single goal, and that too because Adama Traore's finishing is terrible, guys. He gets so many chances. If he was a better finisher, Wolves would have had 3 goals in the last game. Adama Traore is just, I don't want to say it, it's rude, but he's like a headless chicken at the moment. He does everything right, and then he just, misses the goal. I don't want to offend anyone, but that's how I feel about him at the moment. Greenwood is my only mistake this season. I was on Benny and Antonio since day one. That is good, Nehal. You can't nail all your picks in game week 1 because you don't have much information. I didn't think Benrahma would kind of push his preseason form so well into the season, and I was wrong about that, and I don't have any problems admitting it. I'm going to fix Benrahma in this team. The only thing is how I'm supposed to do it. Maybe I take Barnes to Benrahma, or maybe Tony to 4.5 million forward and Gilmore to Benrahma. But I have to do this. I can't watch West Ham games owning Antonio and still petrified when somebody else scores a goal and thinking that it's Benrahma, and mostly it is. Yeah. Patali says, I hope Ronaldo. Nehal says, what are your thoughts? I missed a couple of Project Agent Ramos, totally. The headache if Ronaldo joins Manchester City. For me, there's no headache. I won't get Ronaldo until I see him join City and play for City, and how much time he gets for Manchester City. Until then, No Ronaldo for me. Nahil says, what are your thoughts on Rafinha or Bamford captain? Nahil, I know where you're coming from. I think you're thinking about the last season where they scored 4 away to Burnley. But I think fans back to Turf Moor are going to make a difference. I don't think they're going to score 4 goals again. So in my opinion, I'd say Antonio is a better captaincy option than maybe Bamford or Rafinha. Leeds are a bit unpredictable at the moment. Not scoring too many goals they are. So I'd say Antonio or West Ham options are better in my opinion. Diam says, hello, glad to see one of your lives again. I'm glad that you're here, Diam. Thank you so much. Who's better at finishing? Adama or Dan James? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, my friend. You know, Adama, Traore or Dan James? I've not seen Dan James finish too much, you know. But this is a tough one, guys. We need to have a poll on this, right? So I think I need to end the current poll, which is like 55% saying, and we need another poll here, guys. It's an important one, right? Who's the better finisher? Dan James or Adama? Oopsie. Adama Traore. Alright, guys. So watch your heart out. Let me know what you think about it. This is an interesting question, by the way. I never thought about it. Anyway, so back to the comments. Kyzioh says planning to sell Grealish and buy Rafinha and Benrahma. If you can get those 2 players in place of Grealish, I'd say that's not a bad idea. Yeah. Todd says, I may have missed your other captain comments. Audio problems here in Chicago. How do you rank order? Son, Kane, Bruno, Salah, Antonio, Vardy. Todd, that is, you know, I've talked about captaincy a bit, yeah. So in my opinion, I think Son and Antonio would be my number 1, along with Vardy. You know, I'd say a close number 1. After that comes Kane and Bruno, and Salah would be my last option. So number 1 would be Antonio and Son, with Vardy coming close. Number 2 would be Kane and Bruno, and number 3 would be Salah. The reason being, you know, Kane is playing tonight. I'm not sure if he starts against Watford, and even if he does start, do they risk him for the entire 90 minutes? So that is the reason I'm placing Kane at number 2. And I'm not sure how his form is anyway, Kane's. I've seen Son in much better form, so that is the reason. Hold Mahrez or sell for Son? If I was you, I'd sell for Son. Totally. I'm sorry, I missed a comment. Alright, Nick says, I have this crazy urge to bin Salah and bring Son in. Nick, it is not crazy at all. The only problem is, you know, once the Watford game is over, you're gonna want Salah back, because after this game week, let me show you here. You know, after this game, he's got like Leeds and Crystal Palace and Brentford, and then you're gonna want Salah back as well. So it's, if you wanna do this, you know, like kind of, you know, take one player out and bring him back in, that's fine, you know. Otherwise you can just you know, because I don't think long term you can go without Salah in FPL. The ownership stats alone dictate Salah has to be there. 54.3%. Bruno Fernandes is 57%. How do you take these guys out of the team? If they bang, you're just totally gonna get a big red arrow, and that's the problem, right? Nahil says Fadzli option for El Ghazi, Welbeck. Yeah, that's fine. In my opinion, I wouldn't go for any Aston Villa players because I don't see them clicking right now. You know, it's gonna take them some time, and by the time they start clicking, their fixtures are gonna turn horribly bad. Chelsea, Everton, United, Tottenham. Alright, Arsenal is not supposed to be an FDR4 fixture, but you know, in general, I think it's gonna take a while for them to click. I mean, Danny Ings is 40%. That is stunning, right? After game week 3, how many people are gonna ditch him for DCL? We have to make that move early to avoid the price drops, because I think his price will drop. Totally will. Anyways, let's move on. Todd says thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, Todd. Always welcome, my friend. But worth to keep Grealish or buy those 2. I'd say it's better to buy those two. Over Grealish, I'd say Benrahma and Rafinha are better options, yes. Pratik says Greenwood plus Ings to Lukaku plus Bissouma. I don't think, Pratik, not this game week, no. I mean, Lukaku's playing against Liverpool. Bissouma is just, a bench enabler. You've got Greenwood playing against Wolves, and Ings is playing against Brentford. So, if I was you, I would maybe make these transfers later in game week 7. Not right now. Not right now. I wouldn't. Diam says, is 182 points in total of game week 1, game week 2 good? I mean, that's fantastic, Diam. You're talking about good, and I think that's a pretty good score. That means you're close to top 20k, I'd say. So I'd love to have that score. Yeah, it's on a good captaincy choice. And since don't worry about Dele Alli taking a penalty from Son. I'm not even sure if that's a regular choice. Was it just trying to give Dele Alli some confidence? So in my opinion, Son is still a good captaincy option, irrespective of whether he takes a penalty or not. Jaditya says, I don't know why I went for El Ghazi instead of Benrahma in game week 1. Don't worry about it, mate. The thing is, you don't know what's gonna happen in game week 1 and which player is going to carry their form from preseason, which hidden gems are gonna be found. Just rectify your mistakes. That is what we can do as humans. We make mistakes, we rectify them. Especially wizards. Neil says, I meant the options for best finisher. Oh, yeah. Oh, totally agree with that. El Ghazi, he is atrocious as well. By the way, guys, you're not giving me a good answer here. Like Dan James, 46%, Adama Traore, 54%. Come on, it's too close. You need to be conclusive, right? Okay, Koki, says Nick Dumman. Yeah, that's the word for it. Okie Koki, yeah. So if you want to do Okie Koki, totally. But if I was you, I wouldn't. You have to have Salah. If you want to go Son, maybe sell somebody like Tony and get Son as your third midfielder. I'd recommend doing that as compared to getting Son for Salah and then going back to Salah. I think that these kind of moves never work out in the long term. Just I feel from my experience in FPL. Alright guys, so I think we've talked enough about my team and the questions in general. I think it's time for you to take you to Fantasy Football Fix and just show you, some of the stats that I have for you. So here I've selected defenders, right? And I'm going to show you the goal threat of defenders. Which defender has taken the most shots on target? Duffy, guys. 7 shots in total. 3 on target, 7 in the box, all from set pieces. 4.1 million, a perfect replacement for Tsimikas, possibly, right? Alonso, we all know he's just fantastic. Let's take in the box Tarkowski, another center back. 5 shots in the box, 1 on target. That's I think the one he scored. Dawson, 5, wouldn't go there, by the way. Matip, Van Dijk, right? They're all expensive, but Clark from Newcastle, 3. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good reflection of where the defenders are. None of the fullbacks are close here. Maybe Tierney is here, but other than that, I don't see many. Even Reece James from Chelsea, 2 shots in the box, scored 1 goal against Arsenal. 4 shots in total. So, but he hasn't played a lot, so it's hard to judge Reece James with 113 minutes. I think he's a fantastic option, by the way. So Keane, Tsimikas is obviously going. So this is the goal threat. What else do we want to see FPL wise or expected wise? So expected goals: Tarkowski, Gibson from Norwich. Nobody wants to go there. James is pretty high in the expected goals, and 0.50. And the team XG is pretty high as well. I'm surprised Burnley's XG is 2.42. Haven't been scoring a lot of goals, Burnley, but Harry Maguire, yeah, that's because of the first game. None other options are pretty pleasing here. Cancelo maybe, but you don't want to go there, by the way, right? One more thing which I want to compare for you is 2 players. Just give me a second. Right, so we're gonna compare the 2 strikers which everybody's like talking about right now, Danny Ings, and we're gonna compare Danny Ings with DCL, right? Danny Ings and Calvert-Lewin, right? So they've both played 180 minutes. DCL's got 14, Danny Ings has got 15, 3 bonus, 2 bonus. So nothing much to choose between them here, right? So now let's go down. Total shots here is something which you have to pay attention to. 9 shots to Danny Ings 3. Although Danny Ings has scored 2 goals, one of them was a penalty. Don't forget. Right here, look at the attacking radar of Calvert-Lewin, and look at the attacking radar of sorry, this is Danny Ings, the blue one in between, and look at uh, like the big umbrella that is totally engulfing Danny Ings. And now let me read you the stats per 90 minutes. So goals is 1, so they've both scored 2 goals. Expected goals 1 for Calvert-Lewin and 0.4 for Danny Ings. Shots, look at the shots, guys. 1.50 for Danny Ings per 90 minutes, 4.50 shots, and on target 3 and 1. There is nothing, there is absolutely nothing which and Danny Ings had easy games on paper, and so goal assists obviously 0, expected assists very little, attempted assists Calvert-Lewin has got 1. So all in all, if you look at the total statistics, expected goals 2 Calvert-Lewin, Danny Ings 0.88. There is nothing to choose between them, guys. Shots on target 6-2, shots in the box 9-3, and shots 9-3. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin easily outperforms Danny Ings. If there's any other players which you want me to compare, I'd be happy to do it for you, and just let me know. Let me read some comments. Odali says, I can't believe I missed this one price rise. Yeah. Well, Ben White price drop 3.9. Ben White is not 4. He's 4.5. He is already 4.4. I don't think he's gonna drop. He's gonna drop again this game week. Do you think Semedo is a shout considering the? Definitely. If I had to get one Wolves defender, it would be Semedo. No doubts about it for me. Matt says regarding Ellie, he said Nuno puts the penalty taker's name on the board before each game. That is exactly. So we're not sure who's going to take the next penalty, right? If Kane comes back, this all just goes down anyway because Kane is going to be on penalties. So yeah. Who should I get in my wildcard? Matip or Diaz? Can't go for Trent, so thinking that Matip could cover the clean sheets. If I was you, I wouldn't go for Joel Matip. If I was you, I think Matip is the worst, out of all of them. Although he does have some goal threat, he does score from corners. But Liverpool currently are, just attacking so much from their flanks. I'd say just try to get one of their fullbacks if you can, right? Never think that none of the players in the game can cover Trent. Just think about it. Trent is so good. He has been so good in the first 2 games. Sanchez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Amartey, Cresswell. It's hard for me to read the entire team, my friend. I'm already feeling so sleepy. So sorry for that. I plan to take out El Ghazi for a 6 million player. I totally agree. I think El Ghazi is not worth keeping because the only reason why we maybe wanted him is penalties, and Danny Ings took 1 penalty while El Ghazi was on the pitch. So in my opinion, you could replace him with somebody, maybe get some money from somewhere and change him for Benrahma. I think your team would look pretty good with Benrahma in there, my friend. Harry Kane scores, says FPL. That is good news for Tottenham fans, right? Maybe a good news for anybody who owns him in FPL as well. He might get some minutes against Watford too. Diam says, do you remember the guy that said Billy Sharp from Sheffield will score in FPL? Well, he did score versus Derby County. Actually, he was saying that about Ollie McBurney. He said Ollie McBurney scored 30 goals in the last season, and then that guy never showed up. I was waiting for him, but Sheffield got relegated. I guess he was angry. Anyways, so FPL Sam says, I think we'll come back to Ings when Watkins, Bailly, Buendia are all playing together. Exactly. The thing is, you're right, FPL Sam. I agree with you, and Rafinha and Harrison comparison. That's a good one to show you guys, right? So let's do Rafinha and Harrison. Where are you? All right. So player 1, we've got to get Rafinha. Right. Rafinha's got how much? Yeah. So Rafinha here, and the player 2. All right. Leads sorted out. Harrison. There you go. So Rafinha and Harrison. Let's go to the stats, right? So over 90 minutes. I mean, to be honest with you, there's nothing much to choose between them. Like, I mean, there's nothing much to compare them. I mean, goals, Harrison hasn't scored any. Rafinha scored 1. Expected goals, not as high as I would imagine. Rafinha had that great chance against United to score 4 shots in 90 versus 1.13. Shots on target 1.56. Shots in the box 0 for Jack Harrison in 2 games. Rafinha 1. Attempted assists is a slight bit higher for Harrison, which I think doesn't make a big difference. And big chances created 0 for Harrison. Crosses, in my opinion, there is nothing. If you look at the total, this was for 90 minutes. If you look at the total stats, I think Rafinha has got 8 shots to Harrison's 2. Shots in the box 2, 0, and honestly, I think Rafinha is the clear winner here. I don't think there's like even a debate about which one to choose. PJ3 says thanks anyway. Appreciate it anyway. Yeah, you're welcome, my friend. No worries. That is exactly what we are here for. This is a council. So if it helps you make decisions, that is exactly what we do here, right? But guys, I am pretty tired today. Had a long exercise, and then went out with the family, and then did the stream. So if I think it was a pretty healthy council today. We had a few discussions. I'm still in 2 minds about which transfer to make. Should I take out Harvey Barnes for Benrahma, or maybe Tony out and Gilmore out? I'm going to make the transfer tonight. I think Benrahma is going to rise in price again. 6.3 is going to be a bit much, but whatever transfer I make, I'm going to update you on Twitter and YouTube. But for now, I think that is all that I had to offer for today, and I thank you all for being here with me on Thursday. Generally, the FPL Council is supposed to be on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, but I wanted to wait for the Carabao Cup games to kind of see which teams are lining up how, and it was pretty informative as well. Especially Arsenal scoring 6 goals did put me in the mood for the stream. So thank you so much everybody for being here, and in just about a couple of days, not even a couple of days left, right? I'll be with you again for the deadline stream, so make sure you're here. And if you have any doubts still regarding to your teams or any questions, feel free to join and ask me, and I'm gonna be around 1.5 hours with you on the deadline. But for now, this is all. The council is now dismissed, and FPL Wizard is going to leave you with a beautiful song. Take care everybody, have a good night, and I'll see you on the deadline stream. Take care. Bye bye.